Let's talk about Canada's asylum system. The system has been plagued with delays and inefficiencies for years, with critics and politicians calling for major reform. Have a look at what former Immigration Minister Mark Miller said last November.
I want to reform the system. It's not working in the way it should.
Well, it turns out Canada's Immigration Ministry tried to revamp the outdated system starting in 2019 through the $68 million Asylum Interoperability Project. But just months before the former minister said that, this project to transform the system was quietly scrapped, with just over half complete. And internal documents show that sudden halt came as a surprise for some departments, with CBSA calling it unexpected. But hold that thought. Let's look at why the government took on this major project. There are 3 departments that need to work together to process a refugee claim. IRCC, the department that handles immigration, CBSA, the frontline screening body also in charge of deportations and detentions, and IRB, the tribunal that hears people's stories and makes decision on their protection claims. So the problem, according to the government, was that they each have their own IT systems. Information exchange was difficult and not real time. They were also largely relying on paper applications and snail mail, adding to the backlog and delays. That's what this project hoped to fix. Transform the system into a digital one, improve service to claimants, make workflow better for government staff, and in turn, make our borders more secure. Something that's top of mind for the Liberal government these days.
A strong border is essential to our national security. Our borders are strong and secure, but there's always more we can do to further strengthen them.
So here are some of the things the project accomplished according to the documents. An online application process for refugee claims, automation for data entry and admissibility checks, some real-time information exchange between the departments, and enhanced detention and removals process, like automatically canceling work or study permits when there's a removal order. While the government won't share what didn't get done, documents show wish list items like a CBSA officer portal, other online applications like for removal risk assessments, and the ability to view claim details in one place didn't quite make it. Now let's talk about the backlog. Remember, this project was supposed to help improve that, with a growing number of asylum seekers waiting for a decision on their claims. But today, more than a year after the project was thrown out, the backlog is at a historic high, nearly 3 times higher than it was in 2023, with more than 288,000 claims pending as of last month. And that has some experts asking,
again, the first question is, if these tools are so effective and being implemented, then why do we still have this backlog?
That lawyer is part of a group that monitors AI and tech advances in the immigration system.
The actual project itself and the fact that there's a huge funding, that came to us as a bit of a surprise. So there are procedural fairness concerns. What if there's information that's being transmitted behind the scenes that we're not a party to, or that could implicate our client's case without us knowing? So from a current concern perspective, that's probably my primary one.
And some advocates on the ground say, in reality, things have not improved for claimants.
So, for example, the creation of a digital-only refugee application system has caused immense havoc. People who often don't have computers, don't have tech literacy, are being forced to apply for asylum digitally. So what is framed as a technical step forward is actually a series of policies that make it harder for refugees to gain protection, for them to be able to work. It increases deportations, and it's part of a broader turn rightward towards Trump-like policies in the immigration system.
NDP immigration critic Jenny Kwan told CBC in an email the quiet abandonment of this project was very troubling, and the government needs to tell the public why. The 3 partners, IRCC, CBSA, and IRB, declined our interview requests. The Immigration Department said in an email, the Strong Borders Act the Liberal government introduced this year will build on the foundation laid by this Asylum Interoperability Project. It says some incomplete tasks may be part of future digital modernization projects, but some wonder whether these millions and millions of dollars are being spent right.
What we need are resources for people to be able to protect themselves, and instead there's actually just mass firing of federal civil servants, as well as underfunding of settlement agencies, and money being put into these digitization projects, which are largely seem to be about streamlining removals rather than ensuring rights.
Priscilla Hwang, CBC News, Ottawa.